Okay, so let's start. This is our day one. For only 1 hour is remaining because 10 to 11 will finish this, and let's start jet propulsion. And we'll start with introduction and uses of major parts of a typical jet engine. Right now, I am taking the name a typical jet engine, but after this session, I will start like turbojet engine, turboprop engine, turbo shaft, blah blah, whatever is on the way. We'll see. Single pool, double pool, so all those things we'll see properly. So right now, I have to explain how jet engine works and what is the role of compressor, what is the role of turbine, why we have added turbine, compressor, why there is need of this thing, combustion chamber and everything. So take down the heading as introduction and uses of major parts of typical jet engine. Because everyone is joining, so please tick on the screen once you are done. Take the heading, then I will change the page and I will draw the diagram. Tick on my screen once you are done. Heading is introduction and uses of major parts of typical jet engine. Some 4-5 students will tick, then I will understand. I'll go ahead. Okay. Now I'm changing the page. That's all. See guys. हाँ करेंगे वेदांत. Actually see, when we have the complete aircraft, in this complete aircraft we have a wing. Take down. Hafza, just take down. This is propulsion day 1. 1 hour done. Okay. Now you see, we have complete aircraft. This complete aircraft has to go. If I will draw the 3D diagram, 3D coordination, so from here to here, from x1 y1 z1 to x2 y2 z2. So if aircraft has to travel from this location to that location, then aircraft should be able to produce motion in front direction and motion in vertical direction, and by the proper combination of motions, both the motions, we can produce our relative motion vector in this direction or in this direction or in this direction or in any direction. Okay, now see, if you want to produce this vertical motion, then that is nothing because of the wing. Wing is giving you lift, and this lift is acting upward, so you are getting the vertical direction. But if you want to know the horizontal direction, then in horizontal direction we need some push. Someone should push in the horizontal direction. So like in future, if you guys are making the aircraft or something, some company, then it is easy for you. From CL itself you collect some students and put some students here in the backside and ask them to push the aircraft, and this aircraft will go in this direction, right? No, you should not do like that. It was a joke, but nobody is laughing. It's okay. So see, what should I do? We should take something which is called engine, and we should deploy that engine anywhere on the surface of the aircraft. Here, wherever is suitable, we will put the engine. What is the role of that engine? And why are we putting the engine? So typically you know that we are putting the engine here. So this engine will throw the jet in backside, and because of this jet we will be getting reaction in that side. So this entire engine will try to go in this direction, but this engine is not free to go. It is attached with the wing, so the entire wing will go in this direction, but this wing is not free alone. This wing will take the entire body to take in this direction, and once the motion will start in this direction, then the relative air will come and it will flow over the wing, and top motion will also start. Okay, so if we have the engine, then we can go in front direction and upward direction with the help of wing. Now if you are looking for the engine, suppose for the very first time you are creating the engine for the very first time, For the very first time you are creating the engine. So suppose just now we are developing the science. Just now recently we have developed science. Imagine situation like there is no jet engine, there is no flight, nothing. So I am choosing some names here. I am choosing first name Aniket. I am choosing Bala, and I am choosing Rupini, and I am choosing Padma, Pratik, Ram, Saurav, Vedant. These popular names, and Rujesh. Okay. So suppose that Aniket and Bala, they know that there is something called concept of nozzle. If somehow air enters in the nozzle, then that air will accelerate in the nozzle. So at the exit, we'll be getting extra velocity. So that velocity we can convert into momentum, and that momentum we can convert into force. Force is nothing but action. So that action will give us a reaction. So these two people, they said, okay, we can create something like this. Then some people said, okay, suppose Rupini and Padma came with an idea, and they said, okay, you guys are creating nozzle and you guys are thinking nozzle is perfect. Okay, we can modify this nozzle with the help of combustion chamber also. Now what is combustion chamber? Then they explained, okay, nozzle is there, let it be there. You just attach something here which is called combustion chamber, and it will be helping us. Then how combustion chamber will be helping us? So they explained one example. They explained the example of pressure, this cooker. We have cooker, right? In this cooker or any vessel, in this vessel you have the water or something, and if you heat the water molecules will go up. It means what? You are increasing the kinetic energy by heating that. So they suggested, earlier only air was passing in the nozzle, but if you attach something which can heat up the incoming air, then the hot air will exit with more exit velocity. Your exit velocity depends on your inlet velocity, and if you will heat the air, then that air, the total air will get heat up. So your this velocity will be more, so your exit velocity will be more extra. Okay. Then these two people came, Pratik and Ram. They said, sir, combustion chamber you are creating, correct? What if, then they came up with more ideas. They said, whatever air is entering to the combustion chamber, whatever air is entering to the combustion chamber, what if we can compress the air? So Saurav and Vedant, they are asking, why do you want to compress the air? What is the benefit of compressing the air? Then they gave this example. They said, suppose here we have a balloon. There is no air in the balloon. What is the name of that balloon in which we don't have air? पचका हुआ balloon इंग्लिश में क्या बोलते हैं? Balloon with no air. What is it? Insulated, inflated, deflated. Okay. So I have some deflated balloon. So now Ram and Pratik is giving one example that how the compressed thing will work. They took the balloon, few pieces, and in one balloon they kept only this much air. In one balloon they kept more air. In one balloon they kept more air. And they did the experiment. And we found that balloon which is more compressed, it is going more forward with more velocity and more faster. Right? So with this we got the idea that okay, whatever air we are getting in the combustion chamber, if we can compress that air somehow, like whatever air is coming to enter the combustion chamber, if somehow we can increase the pressure of the air, then that nature I can achieve, the balloon nature I can achieve. Okay. So they satisfied, Saurabh and Vedant, they said, okay, let's include this portion also. So we included this portion also. Then you see what happened. We all know that girls are having very good brain, right? They are very good brain, and like they are fast forward than boys. As a teacher I should say this, but as a competitor I should say boys are always best. No one can compete with the boys, especially not the girls. Okay, but as a teacher I can say no, girls are also somewhat better. So I have girls here, Hafsa, and Himanshi, and I have Mala and Manini, and I have Shubhi and Sneha. So Hafsa and Himanshi said, guys, don't be extra smart, okay? If you will be trying to compress the air, what device you are going to use? Then Saurabh and Vedant says, yeah, we have compressor, we'll be using compressor. Then they said, over smart people, to run the compressor we need some device. Compressor is not some magical thing, it will not run automatically. We need some device to run the compressor. Then Saurabh and Vedant said, okay ma'am, we are fail, we don't know how to run the compressor. You girls tell me how to run the compressor. Then Hafsa and Himanshi came up with the idea. See, if you want to run the compressor, then use turbine. So that turbine will help you to run the compressor. So they came up with the idea of turbine. Then one idea was proposed, okay, we need turbine. But problem was where to use turbine. Which side we should use turbine? Where should we keep turbine? That is the problem. Here we are keeping compressor. Here we are having combustion chamber. Now where to keep turbine? Here. Where to keep turbine? So problem is, Mala and Manini, these two girls came up with the idea that, see, if here you will keep the turbine just after combustion chamber, then hot gases with more kinetic energy, because more hotness means more kinetic energy. So more hot gases will fall to the turbine, then turbine will rotate faster and connect this turbine with the compressor, and compressor will run. But we can also ask, why are you not putting turbine here between the compressor and combustion chamber? Then they said, yeah, there is a problem, we are not having right example for this. Like, okay, we are not able to put, why to put in between? Then Shubhi and Sneha, they said, we have good logic. If you are putting turbine here, then that much kinetic energy you will not get from the compressor directly. If you will put just after combustion chamber, then you'll be getting enough kinetic energy to run the compressor. Okay. So finally we decided that, okay, this is the right location for the combustion chamber. Almost I have completed, taken all the students. Some students names I have not taken, like Akash, Gautam, and some students. Pratik, Rujesh, I have taken everyone. Okay, some students I have not taken, no problem. Don't be sad for that. Okay, this is how we created our jet engine. Everyone is having particular job. But when you all came to me, then as a teacher, I was in different show off. I said, man, once you will run this thing, then it will go in this direction. Then air will come with the same velocity of the aircraft. If the engine is going in this direction, then with the same speed air will enter and your combustion will be fail. It's like, suppose there is one of my student named Aniket. Suppose Aniket is sitting with his girlfriend for this dinner. What is the name of this dinner? We put the candles, right? So the candle dinner. So, but what if there is a fight between both? So that girl, I mean his girlfriend, she will blow the air on the candle, and this candle, there is no flame anymore, light gone. My point is, if the air speed is faster then combustion cannot take place. All the fuels will go out flush. All the fuels will flush out. So we need a stable combustion. So because I'm genius, so I also proposed one thing. Then I said, okay, we can do one thing. We can put a device called diffuser. So I am keeping a diffuser here. So what will happen? Whatever air will come, then that air will slow down because of the diffuser, sometimes also known as inlet. So that slow down air can we can compress that air through the combustion through the compressor. That compressed air is having more pressure. So that pressurized air I will send into the combustion chamber. In the combustion chamber, we will send some fuel supply, and that fuel supply will burn. And because already air is slowed down passing through diffuser, so it will not disturb the flame. Always remember, subsonic combustion is possible. When your inlet Mach number is less than 1, then that kind of combustion is possible. But supersonic combustion is not possible. Okay. So, but still, some places are there, they are using supersonic combustion, and people are working on supersonic combustion. Currently, in which engine they are using supersonic combustion, I am not aware, because it been long time I did not update myself. So, if you have some time or some thesis, you can search on Google supersonic combustion. And if you get chance to do your master degree, you can choose this topic for PhD, supersonic combustion, because it has a great future. If supersonic combustion is possible, then there is no need to use diffuser. Then weight will go down. You can decrease the weight. Okay, so now I will summarize what my total point was. In combustion chamber, what are the parts available? So first, air will be entering. So to slow down the air, we will be having diffuser section. And after that, when air will be slowing down according to design criteria, then we'll be having combustion chamber, compressor. So I will just draw like this. I will just draw like this now. I will draw a shaft here. And on this shaft, I will draw compressor here. See, it is increasing. Okay, keep in mind, increasing. And then I will draw turbine here, decreasing. And then I will draw blades here. You can see blade radius is decreasing in this direction. Blade radius is decreasing, right? But here increasing. Why it is happening, I will give the logic. And then I will put the skin. So skin I will put like this. I'll put the skin. Okay, Sneha, thank you. Sneha is saying, probably she is saying Rohini RH560 is a sounding rocket and it takes supersonic combustion. She's not sure, she's saying she thinks like this. We can verify on Google, no problem. Thank you. And then you put one blade here, one blade here. 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 So the black color blades are known as rotor blades. They are rotor blades in the compressor also and in the turbine also. And the green color blades are known as stator blades. SS. Stator blades. Stator blades are stationary and they are attached with the cowling. The blue line what you are seeing, the skin, that is known as cowling. And you see, this much portion will be used as diffuser and this much portion will be used as nozzle. Okay, so simply just we'll put sections now. So you see this blue line, what you are seeing here, left side of the blue line we have atmosphere. Okay, and right side of this blue line we have atmosphere. Okay, so I am putting this dashed line, it is imaginary line, just to say that from where to where we have engine. So exactly in the extreme left I am putting A. A means atmosphere or ambient. So when the aircraft will run, engine will go forward. So because engine is going forward, so because of the relative effect, air will enter into the engine with same speed. So if the engine is going here with M Mach number, then air will enter into the engine with M Mach number. Okay, so the Mach number through which air enters into the engine, that I will say as MA, because ambient. Okay, and just after ambient we have to put here, like left side, see my point, left side we have atmosphere, and just at the inlet I am putting my section 1, and everywhere in the left side of the 1, like everywhere here we have ambient, here we have ambient. Okay, exactly at the inlet I am putting 1, and exactly at the inlet of compressor, this guy is compressor, this guy is turbine, I am putting 2, and just after compressor I am putting 3. And actually what happens in 3, we supply fuel, right? So you just draw some kind of fashionable fuel spray pipes. So we'll spray the fuel this side also and the bottom side also, because it is circular, properly designed engine. I am drawing the typical diagram. And just here I am putting 4, and just here I am putting 5. But just at the last, the extreme right side, here I am putting exit, E. Already you know that this portion is nozzle. We have discussed everything about nozzle, under expansion, over expansion, everything. And here you have diffuser, right? In this zone you have diffuser. So this is a basic diagram of jet engine, very basic diagram. So you give the name here, from here to here it is diffuser, and from here to here it is compressor, and from here to here it is combustion chamber. Combustion chamber is also known as combustor. Sometimes people say combustor. And from here to here it is turbine, and from here to here it is nozzle. Now see guys, one theoretical question I used to ask in every class, and that question is, why do we compress gas before the combustion? Why do we put compressor before the combustion? Why don't we put compressor after the combustion chamber? I mean, why don't we shift? Old student, you don't try, because you guys know the answer. New students, you try. Anyone? Whoever is doing propulsion for the very first time with me, try to reply. Okay. Yes, Akash, what was your explanation? I got your doubt. Okay, very good try. Slowly I will go into detail. See, what is the main reason why don't we put compressor? Main reason. Because of the combustion chamber. Actually, problem is compressing hot air is very difficult, and compressing normal air is easy. That is the main logic. So if you want to compress the hot air, then you have to put more and more energy. Then your compressor needs to be more stronger. So that is the main logic. So compressing hot air is difficult. That's why we put compressor in the last. And just now I explained why turbine we could put after because after combustion chamber, hot energy, kinetic energy, severe kinetic energy will fall to the turbine blades and it will run. So these are the basic logics. Okay, what happens in diffuser? You know the role of diffuser. In diffuser what happens, and in compressor what happens. So one by one we have to deal diagrams properly. Yes, you're right. Okay, copy it on the diagram. It is very beautiful diagram. Beautiful, right? This is the axis. Yes, ask your doubt. Actually in expansion also we have turbine. In the blades we have flow separation also. All those things are there. Expand. Yes. Right. Actually in compressor also we can design compressor of that shape also, so that it should not look like that, it should look like this. Only thing is blade side I will change. Main problem is hot gas. Actually there is something called the main reason, and after that some small reasons, they will support your main reason. Okay, copy down the diagram. Tick on my screen once you are done, then I will change the page. Yes, Akash. Now I am going to give you the ideas section wise. So there I will explain in detail everything. I am considering your question. Okay. Everyone tick on the screen. At least 4-5 students. Take down neat and clean diagram. This should be very good diagram model, front page of propulsion notebook. Okay. And whenever you are free, you can decorate this diagram. It means, I mean, you should give some shaded look, like this kind. I think this kind of shadings you can give if you are free. I have so many what to say, painters, no, artists in my class. So many artists like Hafza, Himanshi, they draw amazing. Saurav. Okay, I'll change the page now. Now we'll go one by one. So first topic we are taking as diffuser. What is the role of diffuser and how diffuser works? So when I am drawing diffuser, then I will draw a separate diagram for diffuser. Only the diffuser alone I will draw. So this is my diffuser, the upper skin, and here. So this side air is at Mach number MA, is at ambient pressure PA and temperature TA. Always remember static properties and total properties. Whenever I will be writing total properties, I will be putting P naught and T naught. Okay. And if I am writing only P and T, it means static. Now here I will put my section 1. So this is my section 1. And this is the exit of diffuser. So let's understand what happens in diffuser. What happens in diffuser? So before understanding what happens in diffuser, we have two types of diffuser. One is theoretical ideal diffuser, and one is the real diffuser what we use in daily life. Okay. So we will understand what is ideal diffuser. Ideal diffuser. Actually, what is ideal diffuser? Isentropic process. Isentropic process. What does it mean? Meaning is no heat supply and reversible. So you can say diffuser when it has adiabatic nature and it is reversible, means no friction. Then you will say that kind of diffusers are ideal diffusers. But in real life, definitely heat will enter, heat will leak. When your aircraft is flying at the very much height, altitude, temperature will be very, very less there, right? In a stratosphere. So your heat will leak outside from the skin. In real life, situation is different. We will be dealing only the stable, I mean, what would I say? Ideal conditions, ideal diffuser. Now see guys, because you have taken in the beginning itself the assumption of isentropic process. So you should know that whatever flow will enter here, in this flow, only static properties will change, total properties will not change. Get my point? Why? Because adiabatic and reversible both are followed. It means what? At the section 1, whatever temperature, total pressure P01, same total pressure will be at the exit also. But if you don't consider ideal case, then automatically irreversibility will come. Then P02 will decrease. I will take to that point, don't worry. Right now you write down, because it is adiabatic also and reversible also, or combinedly you say it is isentropic. That's why P01 will be equal to P02 and T01 will be equal to T02. But your velocity will increase, because of that pressure, temperature and density will decrease. I'm very sorry, I said wrong. Just change this sign. Because of diffuser, your velocity will decrease and these properties will increase. We understand this part very well, right? And definitely your Mach number should decrease. Clear? Okay. Right now, if anyone is having any doubt, let me know. Now guys, understand. When the flow is exactly hitting this part, then there is a good condition. That condition is the incoming Mach number is more than 1 or less than 1. If incoming Mach number will be more than 1, then you know shock wave will come into picture. And if it is less than 1, then there is no shock wave. The subsonic flow will easily enter. Correct? Now see. I will draw. See guys, actually exact what we have to achieve in this jet propulsion. Total, where are we going? Our final job is to find out thrust produced by any engine. This thrust calculation I will teach you, which is based on the exit velocity. So roughly our main job is to achieve exit velocity. This exit velocity once you got, then you can easily find out the thrust. Not only thrust, efficiency, some other parameters are there. So this is our main job. So actually what do? We study all the parts separate and we learn how to grow in every portion of the jet engine. How to find out this portion, how to find that portion, like that. And everything will be dealing on TS diagram. There is something called TS diagram. T means temperature, S means entropy. Okay, why do we deal with TS diagram? Because here entropy changes in irreversibility. And mostly your total temperature will be constant. Mostly. Because total temperature does not affect the, total temperature is not affected by entropy change. I mean to say that total temperature is not affected by irreversibility. So if you are able to maintain the adiabatic condition, then irreversibility will not change the total temperature. We know this. So in case of ideal diffuser, fourth point, if you draw the TS diagram, okay, so at the inlet, you are having static pressure. At the inlet, you are having static pressure, you say P1. Get my point? At the inlet, you have static pressure P1. Slowly, when you grow in the, when you will travel in the diffuser, at every point, just wait, Vedant, wait, I will explain. Then at every point what happens, at this point, at this point, at this point, at this point, your static pressure will increase. But so static pressure will increase, it means what? Your pressure line will go here, your pressure line will go here, your pressure line will go here. Static pressure is increasing, correct? At every section. But for every static pressure, either you are talking here or here or here, for every static pressure you are having its own total pressure. Here what is total, here what is total, here what is total, here what is total. And because we have considered isentropic, so all the total pressures will be same. It means what? For every pressure in between, at every section, the total pressure will be same. So the total pressure line I will draw here. So in between all the lines I will erase, and I will draw only one line which will represent the inlet static, and one line which will draw our P naught. And here I will mention this P naught is exactly equal to P naught 2. Okay. So I got two pressure lines on TS diagram. Now you see, we have considered isentropic process. So at this section, what is your state? State means P1, T1, thermodynamics we have done, right? P1, T1, there, these things are your state. So that state will be having certain temperature here, certain pressure, certain entropy, certain enthalpy, right? So according to that, I am choosing any coordinate. This coordinate is representing my inlet condition. So I have traveled through entire diffuser. So at every section, I will be having total temperature also. So with respect to this temperature, I will be having a straight line process. Why straight line I am going up? Because entropy is not being changed because of isentropic process. So whatever temperature I have, so for that temperature, our static temperature is increasing, right? When you are going here. So static temperature is increasing. But for every static temperature, you will be having only one total temperature. So that total temperature will be here. So from here, I will draw a line like this. So I will connect this point and this point like this. So this straight line will be your diagram. Copy down. Here you write your T1 and here you write your T01 is equal to T02. Copy down. Meeting is about to over. Copy down fast. ये कर, हाँ देख सकते हैं, कर्व ये रिप्रेजेंट कर रहा है कि कर्व ये रिप्रेजेंट कर रहा है, कर्व ये रिप्रेजेंट कर रहा है कि प्रेशर लाइन आप ड्रॉ करेंगे तो वैसे होगा, दूसरा प्रेशर लाइन ड्रॉ करेंगे तो वैसे होगा. वो प्रेशर लाइन कैसे ड्रॉ किया जाता है टीएस पे, वो ये रिप्रेजेंट कर रहा है. तो आप इस प्रेशर लाइन से इस प्रेशर लाइन पे आप जा रहे हैं, सिंपल. तो आप स्ट्रेट जाएंगे ना, यू विल गो स्ट्रेट बिकॉज ऑफ नो एंट्रोपी चेंज. सो वी आर गोइंग लाइक दिस स्ट्रेट. तो दो ही तो ड्रॉ किए हैं, सारा कहाँ ड्रॉ किए हैं? आई हैव डन टू ओनली ना. द डायग्राम वाज, सी दिस इज P1 and this line is P01, right? And this will be equal to P02. Meanwhile, we have all the lines. Those lines are not required because we are dealing for the inlet of the diffuser and exit of the diffuser. So this point is representing inlet state and this point is representing exit state. So this is your TS diagram. You got your inlet state, this is your inlet temperature and this is your exit. It means what? When you are going like this, like how the process has done, how the process has been done. So from point 1 to point 2 you are going, and you are traveling in the diffuser. Your diffuser is like this, right? You are traveling from this location and you are reaching to this location. Now when you will be reaching to this location, actually what is the role of diffuser? What do we want to achieve the diffuser? What kind of diffuser we want to achieve? We want to achieve that at the last of the diffuser, exactly at the last, we should not have any velocity remaining. That is our approach. But only ideal diffusers can do that. Actual diffusers cannot do that. It means what? At the exit, you should not be having any velocity remaining, because we want to bring the entire flow completely stagnant. That's why at the inlet, whatever temperature will be remaining, that will be your total temperature. So inlet exit symbol I am saying as 2. So total temperature should be T02, which will be equal to T01. Get my point? What we are looking in the diffuser? We are looking in the diffuser that diffuser should bring the entire flow at rest. That is best for us. But in real diffusers, we cannot achieve that situation. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to say T0, why I'm drawing this line here. Because I want to bring the entire flow rest at the exit. Entire flow, exactly at the exit, flow should be in rest. Okay. So if flow will be in rest, then properties will become stagnation properties. That's why the inlet property line is P1, but the exit property line is P0, stagnation. Okay, so this was your inlet. Now you go for actual diffuser. What happens in actual diffuser? First line you should mention here. Your V exit velocity is not 0. And guys, in ideal diffuser, I have missed this point. You write your exit velocity is completely 0. You go to ideal diffuser topic, and there you must mention your exit velocity is completely 0, totally 0. So your first point is exit velocity is not completely 0, and next point, irreversibility. We have irreversibility. So when you have irreversibility, then what will happen? Your entropy will increase. So your second state you will not achieve here. Your second state you will achieve somewhere on this line, somewhere here, because entropy is increasing. So while traveling this much length, how much entropy we have achieved? So according to that much entropy, you will start from here, but you will go somewhere here, right? Somewhere here. And you know that because so many dots are there, you have to connect everything. See, first thing, in actual diffuser, I am saying because we have irreversibility, so because of that, you will not achieve to the same point. Because your entropy is increasing, so how much entropy is increasing, according to that you will select the position, that where you will go. One thing is clear. But at the same time, your P02 will not be equal to P01. Your P02 will also be less than P01. It means what? This line what you have done for actual, that line, sorry, this line what you have drawn for ideal, that will not work for actual. So for actual, you should draw P02 line. P02 line should be little lower, because P02 is less. So in actual diffuser, your diagram will change like this. At the inlet, no problem. At the inlet you have P1, but at the exit, big problem. At the exit, in case of ideal, first you draw P01, and in case of actual, you should draw P02. Okay, and we have nothing to do with the ideal line. Ideal line I am drawing only for the reference purpose. If I am forgetting this TS, you should write T and S. No, every time. If I am missing, you should write TS. I should not erase this. Okay. So what I am saying, in case of, you will start from this state. In case of ideal, you should go here, but you are actually not going there. According to the change in entropy, like how much entropy you have changed, you will go to that point P02. Okay. But how will you decide your point P naught 2 in the diagram? You will decide here or here or here or here. Like after this, how much long you will decide? So that you will decide with the help of T naught, because irreversibility does not change T naught. So in case of ideal, you are getting this much T naught. So suppose if I'm going ideally, then I was getting this T naught. So same T naught I should get. So the T naught will guide us to achieve that point where we have to go, right? So that will give me, okay, this much entropy change we have got. It means what? Now we have namings. Here you have not one naming, here you have not one dash naming, and here you have not two naming, and here you have one naming. Nomenclature you see. Okay, now I will ask theoretical question. I am selecting student. I am selecting Gautam. Gautam, you tell me why I am drawing P naught 2 line. Why I am drawing P naught 2 line? Due to irreversibility. So my exit will be P naught 1 or P naught 2? Very good. Very good. Okay. Next question I will ask to Sai Srinivas. Sai Srinivas. Sai Srinivas, you explain what is P1? Okay. So you copy this diagram, everyone. Copy this diagram, actual diffuser. Now, yes. Straight. This line you are talking, right? This line, right? Acha, this line you are talking. Yeah, no, that is not straight. That is curved line. That is curved line. You should draw this curved line. I got your doubt. It should be curved line. You draw line like this. It is curved line like this. Draw curved line like this. Okay. Now I'm asking question. Himanshi, will you try? Static temperature at the exit will be less or more? I mean, I want to know about this relation T21. T2 will be more or less? Akka, you have doubted. You are not sounding confidently. Okay, very good. No, not think. You should be very, very confident about this. Your answer is correct. Okay. Okay. Shubhi, will you try your question? Question is, how will you compare T01 and T02? Which will be more, which will be less? No, I didn't listen. I didn't listen properly. I think network issue. Say again. They will be equal. Why? So what affects total temperature? Anyone? What affects total temperature? Heat addition, heat reduction. Very good. Heat transfer. correct answer. Okay, now see guys, already we have done area MAC relation, correct? A2 by A1. So because we are dealing with diffuser, so at the inlet you will be having some other MAC number, at the exit you will be having some other MAC number. In case of actual diffuser, your velocity is not completely zero, so definitely you have some MAC number alive. So if they are giving area ratio, you can find out your MAC number ratio, or any three data is given, you can find out the fourth data, and any MAC number is given. Now see, I am asking something what I have not taught yet. At the inlet I have temperature here T1, diffuser I am talking, here I have T2. What will be the, okay, I am giving T01 here, and I am giving M2 here. Can we find out T2? I will select the student. Can we find out T2? M2 is given, T1 is given, T01 is given, T2 I need to find out. So, okay, Pratik Pansar is there. Pratik, will you try this? Try. How can you connect total property here and static here? Very good. So because this T1 will travel with the same T01, sorry, T01, and here it will be again T01, but it will, we say that as T02. Okay, only the later wise it will change, sense will not change. Okay, good. Okay, now I am changing the page, take down. Now I am giving a situation. If your incoming MAC is less than 1, then what will happen? That is, you can say subsonic. Then what will happen? Your PA, you have to consider that your PA is exactly equal to P1, and because it is subsonic, so no normal shock wave, no nothing. Okay, so your P0A will also be P01. Same way, TA will be equal to T1, and T0A will be equal to T01. Okay, if this was subsonic. But if your MAC number, ambient MAC number, is more than 1, because see guys, actually what will happen exactly at the exit, that we can understand once the flow will strike the surface. Once the flow will strike the surface, then only we can understand what will happen. If the flow is subsonic, then slowly, smoothly flow will enter. So flow will enter with the same MAC number what we have in the ambient, same MAC number. But if the flow will strike with the diffuser, which is a supersonic flow, then actually what happens? Then when the flow strikes, so you draw this, if MAC more than 1, bracket supersonic. Now see, we get actually normal shock wave here. So just left side of the shock wave, we have MA which is more than 1, and just right side of the shock wave, we have M1, and no doubt M1 is less than MA. But there is a problem. How to calculate M1? Can anyone suggest how to calculate M1? हट, कहां तुम लोग चले गए? नहीं, क्वेश्चन सुनना चाहिए ना ढंग से. Yes, correct, absolutely correct. We will directly apply our normal shock wave relation. Right? So we will apply, yes Vedant, very good. We will apply normal shock wave relation. So apply normal shock wave relation and find M1. Because see, our entire game inside the diffuser is based on M1. It is not based on MA. Correct. Now question comes. why I am drawing normal shock wave, but I have taught you that when this kind of surface comes, you should draw oblique shock wave. But now why I am drawing here normal shock wave? Because right answer for that is, in 2D diagram, it looks like spikes. But in 3D, when you see from the front, it is like a circle. That's why we get a combined effect as normal shock wave. Okay. So in that case, you know very well, this side when you will come, when you will come inlet side of diffuser. So I'm erasing this part. See, this side you will be having total is P naught A, but here inside you will be having P naught 1, correct? So P naught 1 will be less than P naught A, but still T naught 1 will be equal to T naught A, no doubt in that. Why it is decreasing? It is decreasing because of irreversibility caused by normal shock wave, right? And at the same time, you know, static pressure will increase than ambient pressure because PA, because the normal shock wave nature, and same T1 will be more than TA. Copy down this. And now, yes, Shrubi, ask it out. Right. No, actually T01 leakage will come when you will enter into the diffuser. T01 is not inside, T01 is still outside, and T01 is exactly at the inlet I'm talking. So when you will just cross this shock wave, that time T0 will be same, right? Your T0 will decrease if you are allowing heat to go out. Your T01 and T01, T02 will not match if you are allowing heat to go out. Okay. Now I am changing the page. Take down under the diffuser only a topic known as RAM efficiency. You say diffuser efficiency and symbol is eta D. In bracket you write RAM efficiency. So in my class I have student, his name is Ram. So how efficient RAM is, we can calculate using this formula. So what is RAM efficiency? Actually, when we talk about efficiency when theoretically we achieve some other result, but actually we in real life we achieve some other result, right? Because actual devices are not 100% efficient. So that's why. So first you write RAM effect, conversion of kinetic energy into pressure energy because of the shape of the duct. Whenever there is a flow happening in the diffuser, kinetic energy converts into pressure energy. This effect is known as RAM effect. So actually, why are we targeting diffuser efficiency? Because in real situation, your diagram looks like this, straight up. From P1 you go P01, but this was ideal, but in real condition you have another line, that is P02 line. Okay, so how do we land there? We start from T01 and we reach here. So from T01 and this T02, they are same line, and you draw one line like this. So at this point you started. So on this point, everywhere pressure is P1, here, everywhere pressure is P1. On this line, everywhere pressure is P2. Okay, that is pressure line. Okay, isobaric line. So T1, T01, T02 is same, either in actual diffuser, either it does not matter. So your eta D, it means diffuser efficiency. diffuser efficiency. Actually, we are not. No, Vedant. Actually, we are not bothering about PA because we are dealing inside the diffuser. So inside the diffuser means we are dealing from inlet to exit. Okay. Ambient condition we will take care. In the beginning itself, Mach number will be given, and we will understand. Okay, that ambient we have to use, or applying normal shock wave, and then we have to use. Okay. From the inlet, exactly at the inlet you will be having NSW in case of normal shock wave. I mean in case of supersonic, yes. Now see. Yes, just a minute. Don't write anything there. So see, what is your RAM efficiency? Your RAM efficiency says, actually there is a trick, and I always follow the trick. Trick is, you see, from here to here pressure gap is more, and from here to here pressure gap is less. So efficiency is always less than 1, right? I mean less than 100%. So less gap divided by more gap. So P02 minus P1 divided by P01 minus P1. So this formula gives RAM efficiency, or you say diffuser efficiency. You can see why are we getting P02? Because actual diffuser. Otherwise you will be getting P01. In case of ideal diffuser, this P02 will be equal to P01. So this numerator and denominator will be same. So efficiency is 100%. Now you go for diffuser isentropic efficiency. Diffuser isentropic efficiency. Always remember, whenever isentropic efficiency name will come, these efficiencies are given in terms of temperature. Now you see how to bother about temperature. So concept is very easy. Earlier you, so I will change this diagram. Just wait, I can explain in this itself. Follow the same diagram in this diagram. See, we started from here at certain temperature T1. Okay. In reality, ideal case was taking me to this T1 in isentropic way, when you are going isentropically, right? But if you have actual nature present in that, that will be taking only till P02. So for the P02 you have cut here. So this cut I will show with T01 dash, because the same T01 dash will become T01 in case of complete ideality. So here if you want to find out diffuser efficiency, then eta isentropic diffuser. Again the same concept, same trick you apply. Efficiency is always less than 1, right guys? So less gap divided by more gap. So what is your less gap? T01 dash minus T1. T01 dash minus T1, yes? Yeah, it will be T02 dash, sorry. Because it is the second pressure line, no? It will be T02 dash. Thank you. T02 dash divided by T01 minus T1. I will draw this diagram again. I will explain properly. It should not be messy. I am exceeding 11 hours, but no problem. Just last topic I am taking. This is P1 line. This is your P01 line. And this is your P02 line. And I am deciding, ideally, this was my total temperature. So it should be constant till here. So I am giving this name as 1, this name as 2. And when I am going like this, I am giving this name as 02 dash. But actually, see, naming wise you should not be confused. In GATE exam, if they are putting this as 01 dash, you should consider 01 dash. Naming is different. Anything is fine. So you can put here 01 dash or 02 dash. That is no problem at all. In my diagram I took actually 01 dash, so no problem. Anything is fine. So now I am changing the name to 02 dash. So we'll be reaching here. And again, remember the trick. A smaller gap in the temperature axis. You can see temperature axis is here. Okay. So this is your bigger gap. This is your smaller gap. So gaps I am dividing. Okay guys, that's all enough for today. Thank you so much. The remaining topic will do tomorrow.